Hello everyone, Jabman025 here. Today we'll be taking a look at my 55th Master Grade, the RX-79G Gundam Ground Type from the series the 8th MS Team. I've wanted this kit for a long time and I had an idea for a custom color scheme, and it ended up being one of the most elaborate custom color jobs I have ever done. This is a picture of the original kit that came with the kit itself. This is what you get with a straight build. My kit looks nothing like this anymore. Now, start out with looking at the parts with the first color swap. Basically, I use three colors: white, black, and silver. The torso and the head are completely different. The legs are a little different. Arms are about the same. Backpack's new, shield's new. Some pretty extensive color scheme on this. You can see the head took a lot of detailing to pull that off. Now for the paints. Starting off with a pure white from Tamiya Paints. Did that for all the white parts. We'll get back to that in a second. You can see even on the parts that were already white, such as the leg parts there, I went ahead and repainted them. I'll talk about why in a second. And I used a little skull white for touching up areas, especially in the darker colors that were hard to cover up with a white paint. For the silver sections, not a lot of silver on there, but some. On the feet, the shield, parts of the torso. It's actually glossy aluminum, which I've used on other kits before, from Tamiya Paints. And there's a little bit of black. You see some there on the chest and on the head. I just use a metallic black, and yes, that's a new can because I used up all that I had. And you can see, using that white paint on the white sections, the reason I did that is because the white paint I used was not a 100% perfect match to the white that came with the kit. Truthfully, if I didn't paint it, you probably wouldn't even notice, but me being a perfectionist, I decided to go ahead and repaint everything. Which includes the guns. This came out as a dark gray in the gun. Completely replaced that. That's the only separate weapon you get. These two weapons, you get the exact same thing with the EZ8, but you get that cannon with this kit, which actually turned out to be a really nice weapon. I'll get back to that in a little bit. Now, stage 2 of the color swap is adding some Camouflage Scheme. You can see there on the weapons, on the parts. Basically, my idea for this kit was an Arctic camouflage Gundam ground type. And I did this freehand, and I used two paints to do it. And you can see a little bit better. I didn't use a whole lot of paint because basically when I was looking at different military patterns for Arctic camouflage, for the most part it's 100% white, but there are some grays and blacks in there, which is why I use Tamiya light gray for the gray parts. And there's a lot more gray than black. There is some black on there, but I barely used any, and for that I just use Chaos Black from Games Workshop. Now the next stage, I did custom decals, and you can see I didn't do a whole lot. This is on just a regular piece of paper, like I've said before in other reviews. Print off a test copy. You can see those bare prints were too big, so I had to resize them. What I use is test door decal paper. Used that before in the past, works just fine. And you have to have a sealant, test door decal sealant. And give that a good healthy spray, but do it outside. See the skull and crossbones? This stuff stinks to high heaven. And it is dangerous. Make sure you're in a well-ventilated area if you do this. Like I said, I didn't use a whole lot of decals because it's camouflage, you don't want to use too much. You see 25, I called it the 25th MS Team, yes, Jabman025, and the EFFSF, Earth Federation Space Force. I decided to use a bear paw print as a kind of a logo for the squad. Another 25 on the other shoulder, and another Earth Federation Space Force, and another bear paw print on the backpack. And that's pretty much all I did for decals. Didn't use a whole lot because you're not going to put a whole lot of decals on a camouflage kit. Now, when you're all finished, again, this is outside, you have to seal everything, all your paints, all your decals. What I use is a Krylon matte finish. You can get this at any hardware store or hobby shop. This is designed for plastics, it's designed for hobbies and crafts. Don't think they ever intentionally used it for Gundam, but hey, it works. The only thing I will advise is get a little piece of tape and cover up the stickers areas. This does not react very well with stickers, so just cover up the eyes or whatever area you have stickers with a little piece of tape to cover that up. And here you see everything put together. And I am quite pleased with the way this turned out. I especially like the way the head looks. Maybe it's just because I built it and I think it's so cool, but hey. Now, I'm not done yet. Last stage is using some Gundam markers, in this case a Gundam weathering set, plus a separate silver marker. This I just used to give a little bit of weathering, a little bit of in use. I don't want it to look brand spanking new. Colors, you get a dirt black, a brown, like a dirt light brown, a oil color, and a sand color. And you also get a silver color, which I have used up unfortunately, so I went ahead and got this Sharpie silver pen. Doesn't work as good as the Gundam markers, but it's not bad. Hazards with these is I have to go back over again when I'm all done and spray with the sealant again. The way you use these pens, you just essentially draw on the kit and use some Q-tips, you can see there, to spread it around. I didn't use a whole lot, you may not even be able to notice it, but it's there just a little bit to show that this is an in-use Gundam. It isn't just sitting on a shelf somewhere, even though that's really what it's doing. But hey, I'm a perfectionist, what can I say? And there you can see it all loaded up. This has, the same issues as the EZ-8, not a great deal of posability, but some. And it can't hold two of the weapons very well. You can see the simple beam rifle there. Holds it all right, but nothing great. Machine guns, same deal. Holds it all right. Nothing spectacular. But, ironically enough, the cannon hooks into the hand perfectly, and I mean perfectly. If you hook it in just right, the arm is plenty strong enough, it'll hold that huge cannon at full extension. I found that kind of hilarious. The one giant weapon is the one that holds the best. So, final thoughts. The ground type's a fun kit. It's a fairly cheap kit. It's not the best kit ever made. And it's a fun build. It also is great for either weathering up or doing a custom color scheme like this. I really like my custom color scheme. Maybe that's just because I built it. Let me know what you think. Was this kit epic or was this an epic fail? Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Please do leave a comment. I love reading them. And I'll see you next time with another review. Oh, and one more thing. There is one hazard to my Arctic color scheme. I can't really test to see if it works because it's the middle of July and everything is green. If my Gundam went out into the field like this, it would get obliterated immediately.